What is good, y'all? So today I wanted to create this video for online fitness coaches that are actually struggling to be consistent and growing their online coaching business, right? And I was thinking about this, man. Like when I was first starting my online business, like it was very, very hard in the very beginning stages because I didn't have any testimonials. I didn't have any social proof. I didn't have any before and afters or anything like that. So what I did was I had to really, really grind, guys. Like I had to grind with my content creation and be so consistent with that and being consistent with my stories as well. And my mindset was like, how can I shift someone's mentality around so that they can believe what I believe in order for them to see success in their life, right? Because in the very beginning stages, you have to really get someone to know, like, and trust you in order for them to do business with you, right? Because would you trust or like would you invest into a coaching program yourself if you don't really know the person you're investing into? No, you wouldn't, right? So this is why I started thinking it's like, okay, like what do people need to know about me in order for them to be like, oh, like I kind of get a gist of who this guy is, right? So I just show people that I'm consistent, that I'm disciplined, that I'm continuously putting in that work and investing in myself every single day. And back in 2020, I invested $17,000 into a mentor. And I talked about that all the time, right? I talked about investing into my mentor and how much I invested. And people were like, whoa, this is crazy. But it gave me a lot more authority and credibility as well because someone is looking at me and it's like, man, like this dude is serious about investing in himself, right? And I can see his drive. I can see his ambition. I can see him putting in that work each and every single day towards his goals. And that's someone that they want to be around because if I'm being mentored by these 7, 8 figure earners, right? And I invested like $17,000 into like a coaching program. And then now I'm surrounded by other coaches doing 10, 20, 30, 40, 50K per month, right? I'm learning stuff, guys. I'm learning stuff from people along, like ahead of the journey. And, it's like that are further ahead than me, right? They're like my coaches and my mentors and the people that are a lot more successful than me. And when I realized that, I was like, you know what? Like, I'm continuously learning from them each and every single day. And as I'm around them, like their standards and what they do on a daily basis, how they think, how they operate, how they do things, their habits, it shaped me, right? And I saw what they were doing. I was like, bro, like I gotta be doing more of that. Because imagine, like if you're trying to get better with your fitness, right? If you hung out with a bodybuilder or someone that's very intense with working out, and if you kept on training with them month after month after month, don't you think that you would get significantly better? Don't you think by just being around them, you're gonna learn a couple things, right? And do things better, right? Obviously, you would, right? So this is why I shared my story all the time. And I shared my reasoning for investing into myself and investing $17,000 into my first coach back in 2020, right? I didn't have that much, guys, but I was continuously investing in myself, developing my skill sets, right? Improving my knowledge. I was putting in that work every single day. And I shared that on my story, right? I would always talk about the importance of investing into yourself because this is what I believe in. This is what like the core root of me right? It's like I've always learned everything from my mentors, from my coaches, all the way from growing up, bro. Like when you think about it, like coaches, mentors, teachers, it's like think about your parents. Your parents taught you things, whether it's good or bad, I don't know, right? Like, but you learn stuff from your teachers too, good or bad. You like, I don't know. But every single step of the way, right, in your life, you were taught something, right? And this is your belief, right? So it's like if you want to, get to a place where you look at this person, you're like, man, like I want to be very similar to them, right? I want what they have. I want what they know. I want the success that they have, whatever it may be, right? You have to model, similarly to them because at the end of the day, guys, success leaves clues. And when you think about it, like if people are successful doing that, they're doing something right. You know what I'm saying? So you have to look at them and be like, yo, asking them questions like, how'd you do it? How'd you do it? What are you doing? What is your strategy? What's your tactic? What's your schedule like? What are your habits? What do you focus on? How do you think about this? Right? Because like that's what like you have to do if you actually really want to grow. Right. And I continuously shared that on my story all the time. So I talked about the power of investing into yourself and why I invested $17,000 into a mentor and a coach, right? Because I wanted to be like serious with my growth. And that's what I wanted to show people, right? And it's like, that's actually what happened, right? So it's like, I'm serious about my growth. And when other people see me being serious about my growth, they're also like thinking in their minds, like, bro, like, am I serious about my growth? Or am I just like wishy-washy? Am I just like, do I kind of want the results? It's like this guy clearly invested $17,000 into a coach. Like, they might be like, dude, that's freaking crazy, right? And that's fine, right? It's just like, but they see that you're serious, right? They see that I'm serious about investing in myself. So that's why I always talked about that on my stories all the time, like weekly, guys, right? I always talk about the power of investing in yourself because you're going to learn so much, you're going to grow so much, and you're going to develop so much, and you're going to take the knowledge from your mentors, from your teachers, and from the people that are around you, right? They're going to feed you information that you might have not known before. And you don't know what you don't know, right? And for me, I'm always a student of the game, even still to this day, bro. I have coaches and mentors to this day, right? I'm always learning. I'm always developing my mindset because I always understand that there's the next level, right? When I was first starting, my main goal was just to sign my first client, right? That was my main goal. And then after that, I was like, yo, like I'm signing a couple clients here and there. I'm making a couple $1,000s a month. And I was like, okay, like how do I get from a couple $1,000s per month to $10,000 a month? And I was like, I don't know how, but I'm going to ask my coach. I'm going to ask my mentor. I'm going to ask people that are already at that point how they did it. And I learned from them. And I was like, bro, like, what are you doing? What's your strategy with this? How do you think? What's your schedule like? And I got around them, right? And then once I got to $10,000 a month, right? I started looking at other people that were doing like 30, 40, 50, and so on. I was like, bro, what are you doing? And I always continuously at every single level, I always decided I want to learn, I want to grow, I want to develop, right? And now at this point, I want to hit these 40, 50, 60K months, right? That's the next level for me, right? And I want to continuously just learn from people that are already doing it, right? Because that's the fastest way. Because I know in my mind, I'm like, bro, like if I keep on doing what I'm doing, I'm gonna stay stuck right here, right? Like if nothing changes, nothing changes. So whether you're at zero, you're just starting your online fitness coaching business, right? And you're just doing whatever you're doing, you don't know what you're doing, you're gonna stay stuck there. Maybe you might get a sale, maybe you won't. Like, I don't know, right? But if you are learning from someone that's like even doing like $5,000 a month, right? Online fitness coaching, and you ask them questions like, hey, how are you doing? Can you teach me? Can you mentor me? Can you blah, 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 right? Like even that 5K a month coach can teach you. It's like, hey, this is how you set up everything. This is how you get clients. This is how you sign them up. This is how you deliver your program and all that stuff, right? As long as they're ahead of the journey, then you have so much to learn from. You have so much to grow from, right? And then when you get to that next level, let's say that you're a 5K per month coach, it's like you got to talk to guys that are doing better than you, like 10K a month, 15K a month, right? They can teach you so much about, getting to that next level, teaching you what they do. And once you start implementing what they do, you're going to elevate to that standard. And then next thing you know, you're at 10, 15, and then you're like, bro, I want to get to 20, 25, right? And then you just keep on growing and growing and growing, right? So I continuously talk about the importance of investing in myself every single day, right? And in the very beginning, it's pretty difficult. It's pretty difficult, especially if you don't know what to do, especially if you don't know like the right game plan or have the right roadmap in order for you to get there. And this is what I realized for myself, because in the very beginning, I was like, man, like I want to grow a successful online fitness coaching business. I told myself that I wanted to do this full time and take it seriously. But then I was trying to figure it out on my own. Like I was posting random stuff. I was posting some workout videos, teaching people how to bicep curl, sometimes like doing like funny skits because that's what I've seen, blow up on TikTok and all that stuff. And I was just like mindlessly just, trying to figure it out by myself. But I realized, man, like if you actually want to be successful, you have to commit and you have to learn from people that are doing better than you, right? And at the end of the day, guys, like I wanted to share with you guys the importance of just, getting the mentorship and getting the coaching that you actually need, right? And if you are currently in a coaching mentorship, right, implement, take action, guys, because you will not be successful unless you take action. You have to take action every single day. Like some people will tell me, bro, I want to make 5K a month. I want to make 10K a month. I want to make 15K a month. But are you actually putting in the work that it requires? Right? Don't try your best. Do what's required, guys. Because when you talk to a fitness client, let's say like you talk to a fitness client and he's like, bro, I want to lose 30 pounds, right? 30 pounds is a lofty goal. And you tell him, it's like, bro, every single day, what you got to do is you got to work out, it's like maybe 30 minutes, like 3, 4 times a week. You got to hit your 10K steps every single day. You got to eat in a 300, deficit in terms of your diet. And you got to get in proper amounts of sleep, drink your water, all that good stuff. And that's the game plan. But, like for him, it's like for her, like that you're training, they might be like, oh man, I'm trying my best and they think their best is like showing up to the gym once a week. They think their best is, hitting 4K steps, you know? And yes, like something is better than nothing, but is it what's required in order for you to get amazing results? No, they're not doing what is required in order for them to get amazing results. They might get some results, right? But unless you like basically decide that it's like, bro, I'm going to do what's required. I'm not going to do my best, right? Do what's required in order for you to get to your goal. So if you want to make 5K a month, 10K a month, 20K a month, so on, whatever it is that you have like as a target in your mind, you have to put in the work and you have to become the person that is capable of doing that, right? Because if you want to make 10K a month and you have the work ethic of like a coach making 1 or 2K a month, it's like you're not acting in alignment, right? If you're trying to get to 10K a month and you're working 2 hours, it's like a day inside your business, do you think that's gonna, equate to your goal? No, right? Unless you're like magical and you're a famous influencer or something like that. That's not going to happen, guys. That's not going to happen. And especially if you're starting from scratch, especially if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to be very, very difficult, right? And this is why I always talk about consistency, doing the right things over long periods of time. Because when you are consistent in doing the right things over long periods of time, you're actually going to get to your results, right? And this is why I tell people, bro, like you need a coach and you need a mentor in your life. Because if you don't have a coach and mentor, you're going to be doing things consistently wrong. And if you do things consistently wrong, like I did, right? Just posting random TikTok videos, posting random Instagram videos, workout videos, teaching people how to, it's like 3 day split, like it's not going to yield results. I tried it, guys. I tried it for 6 months. I tried it on my own. I'm a hard worker. I'm a hard worker, guys. I'm be willing to do whatever it takes. But until I hired a coach, this was when he actually taught me the strategies on how to actually grow and build a successful business and actually get clients. And this was when I actually got clients. And when I got my very first client, bro, it was a magical experience. I can't even let you guys know. Like, it was such an amazing feeling because in my mind, I was like, bro, someone entrusted me to take care of their health and fitness. I am not going to take this lightly. But it also showed me that I could do it. Like, I was capable of actually getting on clients. right? And I knew that if I can do it one time, I can do it another 1,000, 10,000, a million other times, guys. And that to me was just like amazing feeling. And as I was training this client up, my mindset was just like, bro, I want to deliver amazing, amazing results to this individual so that this individual changes their life around, becomes a walking billboard, for my business, right? Because when you transform someone's life around for the better, you're gonna be like rolling in new clients, because not only is your client gonna look better and keep on renewing his service or like his program with you because he enjoys that experience, he wants to get to the next level, and you change his life around for the better, right? But he's also going to tell his friends, his family, his coworkers about you and your service. And this is why I will continuously talk about, like, you got to be an exceptional coach, right? Because if you're doing the bare minimum as a coach, right, and your standard is like, I just want to get him amazing results, and that's about it, right? And you don't go above and beyond for that individual, they're not going to refer, they're not going to tell their friends and family about you or anything like that. So you have to ensure that, one, you're getting them amazing results, and then two, you're going above and beyond in making them feel good and making them feel amazing, right? Because that's when they're like, bro, like, I want my friends, I want my family, I want my coworkers to experience how I'm feeling, right? And that's only happened through your service, right? So I want to highly encourage you, man. Like, if you have not gotten any clients yet, right, just do whatever it takes in order for you to get your very first one, right? Your Instagram following, right? If you have people inside there, ask them if they need help with their fitness goals, right? Like, ask them if they need help solving a particular problem in their life. And doing that is going to help you build momentum. And, whether you do it for free, whether you start charging people for it, just start building momentum towards your coaching business, right? Because I know how difficult and how hard it is in the very beginning. And this is the time that you really got to grind your butt off, guys. Like, you really got to grind your butt off. It's like to get your first couple clients, to show and prove to the world that you know what you're doing. Because sure, you can look jacked, you can have a great physique, you can have all this knowledge. But at the end of the day, guys, like, they have to trust that they're not like a guinea pig inside your program. They're like your test, like they're your test subject, right? So this is why it's so important for you to really, really build momentum as fast as possible, guys, right? Build momentum as fast as possible inside your business. Make it look popping, right? Because as people see that you're working with a lot of clients, you're getting them amazing results. They're gonna start looking at it and be like, bro, I want to be a part of this too. And that goes into my next thing. It's like creating that culture, right? Creating that culture is so, so important, especially if you want to grow a successful online coaching business, right? Because you have to instill, it's like these certain values and these certain characteristics inside like the community that you have. So if you have clients that you're working with right now, you have to really think, it's like, how do I want to build this community? How do I want them to think? How do I want them to act? How do I want them to behave? Right. And in my mind, I'm always like, bro, like, I put like a higher standard on all of my clients, right? Because I know that it's like, bro, I want you to see you like succeed massively in your life. So I'm always gonna elevate the standards, it's like, and push them further than what they thought was capable, right? And I remember, like, the best coaches in my life, they always challenged me. They always pushed me. They might, it seems like, like an a-hole, it's like, um, initially, but it's just like, bro, like, these are the coaches that I always remember. Is like, man, like, they're saying that out of love, right? Because they want to see me succeed. They want to see me get results, right? And the same way I do that for my clients as well, right? You have to really set the temperature, and you have to set the culture as the leader, as the coach inside your community. Because if you're just checking up on them, it's like, hey, how's it going? Oh, it's like, it's going well. Like, that's not going to really do anything, right? But you got to hop on calls with them. You got to spark that identity in them, right? Challenge them to be harder, like harder workers, challenge them to do better, hold them to a higher standard, tell them who they are, right? Because like if they identify themselves as like, oh man, I'm lazy, I'm inconsistent, it's like, no, you're not, right? You are somebody that is capable, that is willing to do whatever it takes in order to get results. You are someone that is showing up to the gym every single day consistently. You are somebody that shows up consistently every single day for yourself. You are somebody that invests into your health every single day. Stuff like that, right? You have to instill these things into people in order for them to really, really trust you and really help you, it's like in your fitness goals, right? So that is what I want you guys to really think about, right? And really understand is that you got to continuously help shape that culture inside your business every single day, right? Because people have to know, like, and trust you in order for them to do business with you, right? So showing your expertise, showing that you know what you're doing with fitness, with diet, with nutrition, with workouts, with habits, with the mindset, right? Showing people that you know what you're doing, right, is so, so important. And they have to, too, like you, right? Because if you're just showing up on, social media and you're just telling people and you're calling them names and, like you're telling them, it's like, bro, it's like you got to get your life together and, all that stuff, that message might not resonate with, some people, right? And they might be turned off by that, right? So, for example, like if you show up on your social media and you're just like calling people like names, like, yo, you're like, stop being a fatty and all that stuff, right? When you think about it from, it's like an overweight person's perspective, do you think that they're going to like you when you're calling them names? When you're, it's like kind of, like looking down on them, right? A lot of the times, some people might resonate with that, but I would say like a lot of the times, like it doesn't make the overweight person like you better. A lot of the times, it's like the overweight person is going to like you a lot better if you're more encouraging, if you're more uplifting, if you're somebody that is like hyping them up, right? Because they're already insecure, right? They already feel terrible and miserable about themselves, and they don't need another person breaking and tearing them down even further, right? So that's what I found, it's like inside my business after doing this for what, 6, 7 years already, right? It's like people want to be encouraged, people want to be uplifted, people want to know that it's like, hey, I can trust this coach, but I can't trust this coach. It's like, and I don't like this coach if he's always like calling me names and calling me fatty and, it's like calling me this and that, right? It's like to each their own, right? You might, agree with that. You might disagree with that. Ultimately yours, your business, right? But I'm showing you what has worked in mine, right? So if you're doing better in business than me, then, like have your own opinion, right? But this is what I found to have worked inside my business, right? Just uplifting people, encouraging them, showing them it's like, bro, like, hey, I see you, I hear you, I want to see you win. And you're their hype man, you're their encourager, you're their, it's like person that like they know it's like, hey, you're willing to, they're will or you're willing to support them, right? They want to know that someone cares for them, right? And sometimes it's all how you show up on social media, first and foremost, right? So it's all your energy and how you show up on social media, right? And then they have to trust you, right? They have to know you, they have to like you, they have to trust you inside your social media. So that, like you have to show social proof. You have to show people that you're working with clients. You have to show people, it's like that what you're doing. So, like that they can really trust you because in their mind, they're like, bro, like, would I invest, like thousands of dollars into a coach that I don't really know, like, and trust? It's like, no. It's kind of like imagine a random stranger coming, or like you coming up to a random stranger is like, hey, do you want to buy my couple $1,000 coaching program? they're gonna be like, bro, what are you talking about, bro? No, get out of my face, right? It's because they don't know, like, and trust you. They don't know that you care a lot about people's like results yet, right? So this is why it takes a lot of nurturing. It takes a lot of resilience. It takes a lot of time for you to build relationships, right? And this is why I give this analogy with relationships all the time, right? It's like you wouldn't go up to a girl and be like, "Will you marry me?" You wouldn't, right? It's like you have to start with, "Hey, what's your name?" Right? And then next you start asking questions. Next, it's like as you kind of like kick it off, you're like vibing a little bit, you're asking questions, making small talk. It's like, "Hey, let's go on a date," right? And then after the date, you ask deeper questions, get to know them a little bit more, what they like, what they don't like. It's like everything, right? And it's the same way with your coaching business too, right? In order for someone to go from a stranger to someone that is going to, commit to investing into you, right, as a coach and trust you, right? It takes a nurturing process, right? And this is why you got to show up on your stories and, like just document, right? Documenting is one of the most important things that you can do and one of the easiest because I know, when I first started, like I had so much pressure to make the perfect piece of content. But I realized, it's like it's just all documenting. Like just document what you're doing. Document what you're doing in your life. Like if you're working, just be like, "Yo, guys, I'm working right now." But, I also want to encourage you guys to drink like some water right now. Like drink some water because, like water is going to help you lose more weight and help you suppress your appetite. And it's going to help you have more energy. And as you share valuable tips and advice and just simple reminders, people are going to be like, "Oh, shoot, like this guy's showing up consistently every single day, dropping massive value to me, reminding me, encouraging me to get back on my goals," right? And this is when you can share more about your story. Like share things like why you got into online fitness coaching. Share things why you decided to be a trainer. Share your upbringing. Share your heritage. Share your upbringing. Share like more about your family. Share more about what you like doing. Share more about your passions and your hobbies and all these things because that is ultimately going to build a connection, right? Because when you think about you and your best friend, right, you guys probably know a lot about each other, but how did this happen? You guys shared a lot of things together, right? You guys had a lot of deep talks. You guys had, it's like a bunch of conversations. You guys, asked each other like millions of questions and you guys really understand each other, right? So it's the same way with building a relationship with your audience. And I know it's weird, for a lot of us, like because when I first started, I was like, dude, it's so weird just to talk to a camera, right? It's so weird sharing my story. It's like, I don't want to talk about, it's like how my dad passed away when I was 12 years old. It's like just holding up my phone, right? And I'm like, that's so weird, right? But this is the importance of sharing your story and all that stuff as well. Just show up on your camera and just press record. And, sometimes you got to get a little bit uncomfortable, right? I share like that story all the time. Like one of the reasons why I got into online fitness coaching or why I got into personal training in the very beginning is because my dad passed away when I was 12 due to lung cancer, right? He was smoking a lot, drinking a lot, like not healthy, it's like didn't work out at all. And then he would always tell me, it's like later, son, later. I'm gonna work on myself later. Later never came until he got diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer. And at that point, he quit cold turkey. Like after decades of smoking, guess what, guys? Like he quit smoking altogether, right? No more drinking, no more smoking. He started juicing, he started cleansing, he started eating right, no more junk food. He started getting a ping pong table, he started getting like a soccer ball, and he started working out consistently. But long story short, he didn't make it through. And the reason why I share this all the time is because like I want to inspire so many men out there that are procrastinating on their goals. Like, guys, like take preventative action towards, it's like your health because you never know when something like that is going to happen. right? And not only does it affect you, but it affects your family as well. Because growing up, like why I was upset the most is because one, it's like my dad always, made commitments and promises to me that he's going to do it later, but he never did it, right? So he broke my trust and he broke his own trust, right? But, like after that, what happened was, like I saw my mom struggle. I saw my mom struggle not being able to pay the bills because my dad was the breadwinner. My mom was making like 25K a year, guys. Like that is not enough for a house to pay off two cars. Like after he passed away, medical bills, hospital bills, car payments, like house payment, mortgage, all that stuff landed on my mom. And she had to take care of me too as a 12-year-old kid. And I was so frustrated because I'm like, bro, like, how do I help my mom? How do I help my mom? And how do I get her, it's like out of this situation? Because when you see your mom struggle, it's different, man. It's different. And I just saw her just like crying tears and, like from my dad's death, but also, it's like the stress of like, will I be able to provide for my son, which is me? And man, like guys, I'm just like getting emotional just thinking about it. Um, and this is why I show up every single day, right? Because I just think about that story and I'm like, bro, like if my dad took care of himself, showed up for himself, started working out consistently, started eating right, you know, is a man of his own commitments and promises, then he wouldn't be, in this situation where he passed away at a young age, right? He died when he's in his 50s, right? And he never saw me graduate middle school. He never saw me graduate high school. He never saw me graduate college. He never saw me, it's like get married. And he's not gonna see my future kids or anything like that. He's not gonna see this, you know, like this journey and development, it's like in myself, right? And I'm like, bro, like that's so sad. And I just started thinking to myself, like, I won't be like that. I'm going to make sure that I'm personally taking care of my health. I'm working on my health. I'm working on my relationship. I'm working on my business. I'm working on, it's like every aspect of my life that is important to me. I'm going to work on my faith. I'm going to work on my spirituality. I'm going to work on my relationship with God, like everything. I want to make sure that I'm showing up every single day for myself and I'm showing up for my family, right? So, like I wanted to share that, right, on my story, like regularly, guys. Like if you guys think your story is repetitive or anything, like don't think about it like that. Like most people don't even remember what they, ate for breakfast yesterday, let alone remember your story, right? So this is why it's so important just to keep on sharing about it, sharing about it, sharing about it, sharing about it, so people understand, right? And sometimes like you got to repeat yourself over and over and over and over again until it clicks for some people, right? And this is why I share the story all the time because I don't want to see guys procrastinating, man, right? Like guys will just continuously overeat, just let loose with their life, binge drink, just smoke a lot of like cigarettes and weed and all that stuff. And I'm like, bro, you guys got to take your life more seriously, right? Like you guys got to start developing like better habits for yourself so that you can continuously live a better life, right? Working on all aspects of your life, right? Like even for my cup right here, it's like it says faith, family, fitness, finances, right? This is a reminder to myself every single day of the four pillars that's most important to me, right? So, yeah, guys, like sharing your story, like is very, very important. It's very important for your audience to kind of get to know you, get to know your story, get to know kind of your upbringing and how you like were raised and how you were born and it's like the struggles that you went through, the difficulties that you've went through, and the challenges that you went through as well, right? Because when people hear about the struggle, they hear about the pain, right? That stuff is relatable, right? Because they understand, it's like the pain and the struggle as well, right? And when like people relate to that pain and they realize it's like, man, like that makes you human. Because sometimes as the coach, right, they view you as this like crazy like person is like, man, like this guy was born jacked. This guy was born successful. This guy was born a leader. Like that's how they view it, bro. Like believe it or not, right? But when you share, like you rip the curtains like open and you're like, hey, this is my upbringing. This is like how I was raised. This is how, this is the struggle that I went through. This is the adversity that I went through that shaped me to become the person I am today, right? They like, oh wow, like they relate to that, right? Because they see now it's like, yeah, this guy wasn't born into a rich and wealthy family, right? And now it's like if you're in a position where you're a lot more successful now, it's kind of like they understand the journey and the grind and the struggle and the adversity, and they see the come up, right? Because if you were like, let's say like you were born into a wealthy family and it's like, like you're already there, right? It's like that's why they can't relate with you. But if you can share, it's like if you're right here right now and you used to be right here, right? Take them back, share stories like, bro, this is where I was, right? And at this point in my life, I had this epiphany moment. I had this commitment that I made to myself. I had this situation come up that changed my life forever. And then I started working on myself, progressing in myself, developing myself every single day. And then I just continuously inched forward to get to where I am today, right? So just along the journey, along the way, just share with people, it's like the highs and lows of your life, right? Sharing your story is one of the most important things that allow people to really know you and understand you a lot better, right? Because at the end of the day, guys, like there's thousands and thousands of other online fitness coaches out there, but it's like authenticity and transparency is gonna win every single day, right? It's like you look at a coach and you're just like, bro, like, do I know, like, and trust this guy, right? And do I, like what he stands for? And if you like really like what that coach stands for and his mission and his story and it resonates with you, right? Like that's gonna change so many people's lives, right? Because they're gonna be like, man, like I relate to this coach, right? And if you're here and you share like that you're like that you used to be here and the people that are watching your content are like right here, you bring them back, right? It's like, yo, I know the next steps that you need to take, right? And I'm gonna help you get up here, right? So like understanding that is like so important. And yeah, just like documenting and sharing more about you, your life, your experiences, your upbringing, um, and just sharing that is going to help you like grow so much. And also like a time of reflection as well, right? Sometimes like for me, like I reflect upon these stories and I'm like, man, like that did really shape me to become the person I am today, right? So I always think about that. I think about like all those pivotal moments in my life and I just write it down. So something that you guys can tangibly do right now is just like write it down. Write down, exactly what it is, it's like that has changed your life, right? Like think about like your past, right? And think about all those moments in your life where, like you had this epiphany moment or like you had this life-changing moment or you had these circumstances that helped you like to be the person that you are today. Write those moments down, right? Reflect upon that, extract the lessons that you've learned and how you overcame it, right? And share it on social media, right? I know it's difficult. I know it's hard, right? But at the end of the day, guys, like I told you, like there's thousands of fitness coaches out there, right? So like, how are you going to separate yourself from me? How do you separate yourself from the next guy that's an online fitness coach, right? It's you. It's your story. It's your personality. No one can be you. You are the best you, right? You can't be me. You can't be the other guy. You can't be other people, but you can be you, right? And staying true and staying authentic to you is going to be so, so important and so crucial because this is going to be what's going to separate you from every other fitness coach out there, right? Just being raw, just being authentic, just being you. It might sound silly. It might sound like, oh, like that's it. Yes. People buy into you because they know, like, and trust you. For example, like if your friend that is 30 pounds overweight, he's very close friends with you, and he's close friends with, or like he's not close friends with me, right? And we both ask him, hey, do you want to join my fitness coaching program? He's going to say no to me, right? And he's going to say yes to you because he's built a closer relationship with you and he knows, likes, and trusts you a lot better. But who knows if I, like talk to him a little bit more, I built up a relationship with him and all that stuff. Like now we might be on a similar equal playing field. But if I don't know that person at all and they just see me as a fitness coach, right, they're obviously going to invest with you because they know, like, and trust you and they have a relationship built with you. So this is kind of like to answer the question of like, oh man, like isn't like fitness so saturated? In my mind, it's like it's not, bro. Like there will always be people that want to get in, better shape. There will always be people that are overweight. There will always be people that can do better than where they are right now. So fitness is never like saturated, right? It's like you just got to go out there and show that you know what you're doing, and you have to be known because you can be the best fitness coach and best trainer out there, but if no one knows you, how are you going to get clients, right? How are you going to start training people, right? So this is why it's so important to show up every single day, document, share stories, because ultimately facts tell, stories sell. People like emotionally resonate with stories more, and they remember stories a lot better than you telling them facts, right? Facts will come in one ear, out the other ear, right? But you got to be focusing on storytelling a lot better, right? So just always focus on that. And this is how you're going to ultimately grow a successful online coaching business. Yeah, I would say that is it for this video. If you guys have any other questions or any thoughts, any insights that, or like anything that you want to share, feel free to shoot me an Instagram message. My Instagram is Raytang Fitness, and be sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel, and I will catch you guys in the next video.